Hello everyone. Welcome to BYK Book Summary. I am Amin. Here we decode the inspiring journey, mental warfare, and empire building life lesson of the world greatest legend. Today topics and their biggest secret are right on your screen. Let's dive in with my AI co-host.
Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into what is honestly one of the most ambitious entrepreneurial pivots we've ever seen in Indian sports history. We're stepping completely off the cricket pitch, straight into the boardroom to break down Virat Kohli's absolute masterclass in sovereign brand building. If you've ever wanted to know how a modern athlete transforms from just smiling on a billboard as the face of a product to actually owning the entire ecosystem, well, you are definitely in the right place. Let's kick this analysis off with a frankly staggering number: 300 crore rupees. In 2025, the global sportswear giant Puma slid an 8-year contract renewal right across the table to Kohli, a guaranteed 300 crore rupees. I mean, literally, all he had to do was sign on the dotted line to lock in the largest endorsement deal in the history of Indian cricket. It was incredibly safe, it was totally guaranteed. Really, it was the absolute pinnacle of that traditional athlete and sponsor dynamic. But here's the crazy part. He said no. And that brings us to this fascinating mental war stop that we really need to unpack today. Because seriously, why on earth would anyone, even an absolute icon like Kohli, walk away from the largest, most secure payday ever offered in their industry? Most of us would be signing that contract before the pen even touched the paper. But as you'll see, for a true builder, guaranteed money like that, it's just a ceiling, not a floor. The answer to that rejection logic lies in a strategy called sovereign brand building. Kohli realized something crucial. Putting real skin in the game and gaining permanent equity is just infinitely more valuable to an empire builder than collecting temporary endorsement checks no matter how big they are. It's this incredibly sophisticated shift from being a highly paid employee for someone else's brand to becoming the owner of the asset itself. Think about it. When you prioritize long-term operational control over a short-term rental fee, you stop working for the brand, and the brand finally starts working for you. So, let's jump right into Chapter 1, the identity multiplier. Unlike standard celebrity endorsements that rely so heavily on manufactured positioning and focus groups, Kohli used his lifelong jersey number 18, as this massive trust anchor. By naming his brand One8, it completely bypassed that corporate synthetic vibe. It didn't feel like a product pushed by a marketing team, it felt like a genuine, authentic extension of his character. And guys, that is exactly why this brand can charge a premium in the market. You can copy a logo all day long, but there is absolutely no way to fake decades of authentic identity. That trust anchor becomes this unbreachable moat against competitors who have to burn millions on ads just to simulate that exact kind of loyalty.
Which brings us to Chapter 2, the portfolio thesis.
Because once you establish that trust anchor, you have to know exactly what to do with it. And when you analyze his broader investments, a very distinct pattern emerges. Whether it's his massive 90 crore rupee bet on Chisel Fitness way back in 2015 at his athletic peak, or backing plant-based foods like Blue Tribe, or investing in Rage Coffee, every single one of these investments targets the exact same high-performance lifestyle customer. This is definitely not some random diversification just to park his cash. It is a highly unified, coherent ecosystem built entirely around his genuine expertise. He is capturing the exact same consumer across multiple lifestyle touchpoints, ensuring One8 isn't just a label you wear, but a complete way of living.
And expanding that ecosystem into the restaurant space brilliantly illustrates his focus on meaning and legacy. He didn't just go out and rent a generic space in a shopping mall. He took the historic Gari Kunj bungalow in Juhu, which was the actual personal home of the legendary singer Kishore Kumar, and transformed it into the glass-roofed One8 commune. It seamlessly blends his cricket nostalgia with this profound musical heritage. That right there, that is a decision made by someone thinking in terms of cultural legacy, not just trying to get foot traffic. By embedding the brand into historic architecture, he creates physical spaces that naturally command premium experiences.
However, any truly objective business analysis means we have to look closely at the failures too. His casual streetwear brand ROG faced a pretty severe reality check recently. In FY25, the brand actually saw a 9% year-over-year revenue decline, dropping to 223.22 crore, which resulted in a total loss of 75.5 crore rupees. Streetwear is just a highly vulnerable segment, notoriously susceptible to changing consumer tastes and absolutely fierce competition.
So why even include this? Well, honestly, acknowledging struggles right alongside the successes is what actually builds durable credibility. It proves that, hey, not every single bet is an instant home run. But a struggling brand in a portfolio doesn't define the entrepreneur. The strategic response to that struggle is what defines them. It forces a pivot from merely licensing your name out to taking complete hands-on control of the actual business mechanics.
And that strategic response leads us perfectly into Chapter 3, Supply Chain Mastery.
To really understand how he reacted to this evolving landscape, we need to track this incredible 8-year business arc. Back in 2017, Kohli signed a 110 crore rupee deal with Puma, which was orchestrated by their then managing director Abhishek Ganguly. Fast forward to 2025, Ganguly has founded Agilita Sports, and Kohli joins him, but not as an endorser. He joins as a co-founder. It's the ultimate proof that authentic business relationships, when they're built on shared values, truly compound over time. That kind of transition from talent to partner doesn't just happen overnight. It is carefully, strategically cultivated.
Which brings us to what I'm calling the 2025 masterstroke. Instead of grabbing that 300 crore guaranteed payday we talked about at the very beginning, Kohli executed this highly sophisticated structural pivot. First, he sold the One8 brand to Agilita Sports. But he didn't stop there. He took 40 crore rupees of his own personal money and invested it straight back into Agilita's, securing a mid-single-digit equity stake as a working co-founder. I mean, this is the literal definition of having skin in the game. He isn't just lending his face anymore, his own capital is sitting right there at risk alongside the institutional investors.
Now, this new structural pivot is an absolute game changer because it unlocks complete supply chain mastery. Agilitas isn't just some marketing shell company. Because they acquired Mochiko Shoes, they actually own the manufacturing. They control the entire vertical integration, starting from in-house research and development, going directly into the factories, all the way through to brand development and retail distribution. One8 is now an Indian brand built entirely from the inside out. He literally eliminated the middlemen, protected his margins, and ensured that the physical product actually matches the premium nature of his identity.
And to put the cherry on top, consider the fuel that is powering this newly integrated machine. With over 264 million Instagram followers, Kohli sits globally right behind Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. He doesn't just have a fan base, he essentially owns a media channel that's larger than most global television networks. He has the ultimate ready-made global launchpad to scale a vertically integrated brand on the world stage, completely on his own terms. He totally bypasses the traditional advertising algorithms because his distribution channel is literally built into his daily life. So when you step back and look at it, the core lesson of the One8 empire really boils down to this direct comparison. Kohli realized that being the face of a brand is always temporary. It ends the exact second your athletic prime or your cultural relevance starts to fade. But ownership, permanent equity, that compounds for generations, as long as the empire keeps growing. It's the definitive shift from extracting short-term cash to cultivating long-term, lasting wealth. Which leaves us with this final, somewhat provocative thought for you to consider in your own career trajectory, no matter what field you're in. Take a really hard look at where you're putting your time and energy today. Are you simply renting your relevance out to someone else's platform? Or are you actually building your own empire? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.
So friends, that was the complete breakdown. Make sure to take a screenshot of this growth gift, this infographic, so this lesson stay with you. If you want to learn from legends every single day, join our community. I am Amin. Always remember, read more, think deeper. Let me know in the comments who we should cover next. See you in next episode.